welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we are looking at the beautiful moments. Lovely line drawings. As you know, I absolutely adore line drawings. And we're going to do a very simple one with this one here. So what I've taken is just a standard piece of, I'm using heavy Whisper White. And this measures for me 5 1/4 inches by 3.5, whatever your standard bats are. Then I've taken exactly the same piece and I've cut the largest circle from the stitched frames. I've just put some colour around the side so you can see where it is. And I'm just lining that up in the centre. Makes it easier to work with. And then we're going to take some crushed curry. I would suggest not making your colour or your ink pad too juicy, particularly if you're using sponges. Take it from the outside and then we are just going to do a big sun in the sky. Now you can build up the colour, as I said, just take it round the outside first, because it's the outside part that we want to have the most colour in. And as I say, just build it up as you go. And we have it slightly paler in the middle. But just as I say, build it up as you go. And because it's going to be the sun, it can be as bright as you want, but we are going to be stamping over it and colouring it in, so you don't want it to be so dark that it is going to actually show once you colour your image on. So we're going to take that off, and you then have a lovely sun in the centre, but it's not too bright, because then what we're going to do is we are going to take our image. I've put it on a block already, and we are going to ink it up with a good black ink. So get my black ink out. Okay, and we are then going to position this so that where the little pieces where you've got the little hole in there, which is this piece here, we want this to be at the bottom, because we don't want the sun, and I'm going to try and do it so my eye, because I'm on the quite bright lights, so I'm going to get it hopefully as straight as I can and where I want it. And you're going to just leave it, as it's quite a large stamp, just leave it for a few seconds for the ink to soak in. And then press it up. There we are, perfect. So we've got the girl and her mum walking through what's going to be the sun dunes, just with the sort of the sun silhouette coming up out of there. So I'm going to clean this off now. And I'm just using my Simply Chamois to clean it off. And we are then going to, I'm going to put the sentiment on now, because then I can see my positioning for doing the colouring. So put that one in there, and I like the Collect Beautiful Moments. I think that that's really rather nice, and that again will work for any type of card. You know, you can put birthday on the inside, you can put anniversary, you can put whatever you want on there. It just makes a really sort of pretty card and a pretty just sentiment on there. I'm just going to make sure I've got that as lined up as I can. That's about right. And again, I'm going to do it in black, and I want this to come down at the bottom here. So that's going to do Collect Beautiful Moments at the bottom, and then we are going to put the little birds, I think, just up at the top. So we've got these rather sweet little birds, and I'm just going to put those again sort of in a silhouette, so in black, and they are going to go, I think we'll have them out just there. So that sort of balances it like that. Then it's down to colouring. So we've got that circle which just adds that bit of colour in there, and I'm going to use, you can use whatever colours you want, you can use what you want. If you're using aqua painters, which is what I'm doing, because this is already watercoloured, you just have to be a little bit careful of the colours. So you don't want anything that is going to make it sort of muddy, but I think it will work. So I need a little bit of kitchen roll. I've got a really dirty scrubbly piece in here, but we'll find a little clean bit on this so we can use it. It's my motto, waste not, want not, just making sure that that is clean, because I have been using it with different colours. And then we are going to, so let's start with her dress. This one I'm going to have her in a sort of a, let's have a pinky sort of dress. I think will work quite nicely. We'll do it quite sort of vibrant. So I'm using Melon Mambo, because Melon Mambo with the yellow will make it slightly orangey, but that's fine. So just take a little bit, whoa, on my palette without throwing it everywhere. And I want it fairly fairly wet. I don't want it too dark and too over the top. Okay, so literally you're just going to wash this. So you don't have to be overly precise on this. If you're a great watercolorist and you want to add all your lights and darks and shades and things, then feel free. I'm just showing a way of very simply just sort of washing over and giving colours without it being too much. So that is her little dress, and you can see that even though we've got the yellow behind it, it's not showing through. Now you can do masking and things like that. I just wanted to show a very simple, very easy way of doing it that doesn't involve too much of a process. So the only bit of process on this is literally just doing a light sponging to give that sun. So that's her dress. What dress shall we do? I think Mum can have a bright sort of, shall we have her as a bright blue sort of dress? What have I got? I've got Bermuda Bay, Pacific Point, I think. We'll give something that's quite bright. I've got some in the bottom on here. So again, I want it fairly loose. I've got the old palette, so I can just sort of take a bit of extra colour on here. I don't want it overly, so I can take just a little bit off if I want to. And then Mum's dress is going to be in this lovely sort of blue, so it'll give it a slightly greeny hue going on to the yellow, but probably not too much at all really. So again, I'm doing it, as you can see, fairly sort of quickly. I'm not spending too much time thinking about it. I'm just with the aqua painter, just adding some colour on here. So that's Mum's dress, which is rather nice. So we've got blue and we've got yellow on there. Now their hair. You could just darken it and have blonde hair. I'm going to have them with brown hair, I think. So I need a dark, let's put this blue back without shaking anything. What dark brown have I got? Let's have a look and see if I've got soft suede. Might work actually. Won't be too brown. Sorry, I'm standing up because I don't want to shake my camera. As I said, I have all my colours in, and because I'm Again, working fairly off the hoof for you so you can see. I know that some people wanted to see how I sort of work from start to finish. So we'll get a bit of colour on here. And let's make sure my brush is clean. You can see how my kitchen roll ends up being quite a mess. Now this, I'm doing it a little bit darker, so I'm not doing it quite, because it's a finer image here. I'm making it just a little bit darker, and then we can just do, and again, quite you don't have to spend too much time doing it. With this sort of watercolouring, if you just put it in and just sort of bring it round, so her hair's going to be just a little bit paler because she's a child. So I'm just taking it out like that. So that's her and Mum walking together along the beach. So we can clean this bit up. And then the last one we need to do is, we obviously want the sort of sandy bit at the bottom, but we want their skin colour. Now I'm going to take, just cleaning this off so it runs clear. I'm going to take some, and you'll probably think, woo, that's a bit bright, but I'm going to take some Flirty Flamingo. So just take that in. If you go for something too pale with the yellow, because we haven't done any masking on that yellow, it will sometimes make it just a little bit too sort of yellowy coming through. So we're going to take a little bit of this Flirty Flamingo, and then we're going to take quite a bit of, so get your aqua painter so you've got, or as I say, if you're using a paintbrush, just make sure that it's fairly wet and loose. Okay, and then we are going to take it down through, and obviously once you come out onto her feet, they're going to be outside of that, and then do exactly the same on Mum's. Again on her feet, just sort of running up. I always start on the legs because the legs are a little bit more forgiving, and when you get onto the arms you can then see what you want to do, and you've got used to just running it straight up quite quickly and easily. So like that, and then you can turn it round if you want to and just do it down on there. So as I say, it's not overly dark. And then on their face, literally, and neck, and hers is just her face on there. Okay, and as it dries, it will dry a little bit paler. So we've now got that bit on. Like that, and then we are just going to do a little bit of the grounding on here, and then that will just about be finished. It's a nice sort of simple one layer card. So the ground, I'm going to use crumb cake because it's still sort of sandy, but it's not over the top, and that's what I want to do. So little blocks, we don't need a huge amount, just take a bit off like that. Again, because it's the ground, we're going to just add a little bit of water in here because we want to be able to run it through quite quickly. And then we're just going to take it up where their feet are and just bring it sort of in between and just down on the side like that. Again, sort of fairly sort of loose because you don't need too much colouring on there. And then you have a rather lovely, quite simply done picture of the little girl with the sun behind, and we can put this on. We can put it on any colour we want actually. I might do a border. Let me see if I've got any black cut. Don't know whether I have actually. I've got a piece here. Do I want to see it on black? That'd be quite pretty, won't it? Or I could actually take one of the colours that's there. I haven't cut any mounts ready for this one, but let's have a look. We've got pinks and we've got blues, haven't we? So if I get my scrap bag out with pinks and my scrap bag out with blues, what I will probably do is, let's have a look at the blue, which is Mum, and I've got a piece here of that. So I'm just going to use this. I think this might work quite well. Yes, because that's quite nice and bright and almost picks up Mum's dress. So you can take it, as I say, sort of blue like that, which gives the impression of the sea behind. Or you could take it with, let me see if I've got any, oh, have I got one that's cut? Not sure. That's not cut, but that could be cut. So I'm literally just going to do this to just show you how you can change it completely just by putting it with different colours on. So this would be with the Melon Mambo, which was the dress, so that gives a more vibrant feel. I actually like it with the blue behind because it gives that sort of sunshine and sea, collect beautiful moments, and is a very simple way of just colouring in that image without it being too complicated. So I hope you enjoyed that. I will be doing some more with this stamp set and some of the others. So thank you so much for watching me. Do look forward to seeing you again. Bye bye.